a salute. I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and I'm fortunate enough to have on the line Rich Comitz from American Corporate Partners, who's the Chief Operating Officer. Rich, how are you?
I'm great, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Now, I appreciate what you do for our veteran population and accepting my invitation here. So let's talk about a few things. First of all, where are you from? What you do in the military, and what's been your post-military journey, and how did you get the ACP?
Yeah, so I originally from Pennsylvania. I went to West Point early, right out of high school. Not necessarily a great patriotic story, but the fact that it was free was definitely appealing. Got into West Point and got out in the Army and really liked what I was doing. I was a chemical officer for quite a while.
Yeah.
Didn't do a lot of that, especially later in my career because deployed and things like that. I also had the opportunity to teach at West Point. So through the Army, I got both a master's and a PhD and taught, believe it or not, organic chemistry at West Point.
No kidding.
So when it came time for my transition, I started looking around thinking about what I wanted to do and wasn't sure what I could do. So I actually just figured the easy route for me was to go into higher ed since I had some experience teaching at West Point.
Yeah.
Found myself finding it hard to land a job where I thought I deserved to be or I should be as far as my experience goes. Took a job a little bit lower in that than I should have. But anyway, that was 2019 and COVID came around in 2020. I was in a meeting where we were discussing what to do about COVID and I spoke up and they said, okay, Army guy, you can work on COVID for us. So that actually worked out really well for me. Got to do a lot in the organization. It went well, and then I proved myself useful, became the director of operations and worked for the chief operating officer and the president. Did a lot of different jobs there, but I still had this desire to give back. So I kept my eyes open, and this job at American Corporate Partners came up where I was able to add to their leadership team, and I jumped at the opportunity.
That's awesome. Yeah, so as I mentioned off camera for the folks out in the audience, so when I got out of the Marines in 2000, literally I went to the Personnel Center, signed for my DD-214, our military folks know what that is, and then I left the post. And as I look at my own transition now into retirement, there's so many partners nonprofits out there that are willing to help. And so I mentioned, I've worked with the Comitz Foundation. I work with the ACP. Currently, I'm working with 4Block. So, American Corporate Partners, can you kind of give an explanation to our veteran community that's getting ready to transition? What is ACP, and how do they reach you all to if they have interest?
Sure. So what we do is we pair the transition service member or veteran or active duty spouse with a mentor in the area in which they're looking to get into. And we find that some people don't know what they want to get into. And we have enough mentors with a lot of experience that can help them figure that out as well. So we not only, our mentors not only help people figure out what they want to do, we also help them kind of combat that idea of underemployment, not just jumping into that first job and not realizing that they're in the place where they want to be. So, but we do that all through mentorship. So when someone comes to our office, or contacts us, they will get a call from someone from our office to understand what their goals are. And then we try to find a mentor that will help them through their process. So having that individual person to kind of be that accountability partner and give them tips and tricks as they're going through, helping them with applying for jobs and resumes and things of that nature. And so if anybody's interested in applying, they can go to our website, which is acp-usa.org, and they can apply.
Yeah, and they can apply at any time, right? So unlike other like other nonprofits out in this space, there's a lot of them have cohorts where you enter at one point, you leave at one point, a cohort. So with ACP, you can sign up at any time and then start that mentorship journey.
That's correct. Yeah. So that anytime that you sign up, we're going to get you moving. It takes anywhere from immediately to a few weeks to find you the correct mentor, but yeah, that can be done at any point in time. I definitely recommend if you know that you're separating, probably 6 to 9 months before you get out. If that would be ideal because you have plenty of time with that mentor to help you get ready for your civilian career, but definitely any time is helpful. Even
Okay.
if you're in a job out there and you want to level up, right? Talking to a mentor can help there too.
That's awesome. How about folks that recently, in the last 2 years, left active duty or the reserves, and they're looking for a career change? They need a mentor. Will ACP assist them, or is it only
Yeah,
for
so
those in active duty? Okay.
no, so as long as they have served 180 days past 9/11. So
Okay.
as long as you have been in the military at least 180 days since 9/11, we help you. We also work with active duty military spouses and
Mm.
spouses of caregivers that are caregivers.
That's great. Yeah, I noticed with ACP, you're one of few nonprofits that are working with those active duty spouses because, as we know, our spouses sacrifice a lot over a service member's career, so their ability to seek and find the employment they want to have is gigantic. And one figure that kind of scared me a month ago, I saw it said 73% of veterans leaving the service will change their first, whatever job they start with, they will change their job in the first 3 years, which to me tells me they don't understand what they're getting into, or the business who is hiring them doesn't understand the fit for that employee. So I'd imagine that what ACP does is make sure you get a good fit between the service member and the business, so it's a longer relationship that's more fruitful for everybody.
Yeah, we like to say we focus on meaningful employment, right? So not just a job, but meaningful employment where someone has a career where they can kind of progress and see themselves for a while. And we actually have some statistics on that as well. We survey our people a year past their mentorship that people have gotten a job, and we find that I think it's 85% of the time, our proteges have stayed in their job past that year mark, which is good because a lot of people end up leaving that first 6 months or whatever. So I think that having a mentor helps people, figure out what they really want to do, find the right level, and they find the right atmosphere and the right environment, and they end up liking what they're doing and staying there longer, which is good for both the what we call the protege, the veteran, and the business themselves.
Well, hey, Rich, number one, thank you for your service. Number two, thanks for what you're doing for our veteran community of ACP. It does really matter, and I look forward to seeing ACP continue to grow and expand across the nation. And as I tell veterans, while you're in the service, we talk about courage, and a lot of times we talk about physical and moral courage. So in this case, as you transition, you got to put yourself out here. So have that moral courage to reach out to ACP or other partners out there that can help you through what can be pretty turbulent times as you transition out of the military. And by yourself, you're in the corporate world just trying to figure it out. You can have good mentors help you along the way and make sure you're successful. So again, hey, thanks, Rich. For everybody out there, if you like what you see and like what you hear, please share us. In addition, thank you to Operation Barnabas for sponsoring today's session, a great nonprofit over in Clay County, helping the homeless veterans and those suffering from addiction get back on their feet.
Operation Barnabas is a veterans ministry, started in 2017 with the purpose of helping our veterans that kind of got left behind.
These people went over and went to war for us, and a lot of their friends didn't come back, and that's a lot of the stuff that we as veterans deal with is there's a lot of people that didn't make it back, and then it's like, why are we here? So and then they isolate.
And they've struggled with addictions, PTSD, suicidal thoughts, those kind of things, helping them get whole again through one-to-one mentorship.
So being able to communicate with them and help them can drastically change their life, can drastically change a family's life. The little that we can do is put our hand out and say, hey, do you want a hand up? Like, we're not giving a hand out. Do you want a hand up? And just be able to be there with them and do life with them and just be able to help them, because man, they put their life on the line for you and me.